Hello, all you lovely people out there. My name is Deasia Monique, and welcome back to another episode of the Dear Diary podcast. Hello, guys. How are we doing today? I hope that was amazing, and if not, I hope this episode does make your day a little bit brighter. That is always the goal with every episode that we do here. My day was actually really good, y'all. I got a surprising late start, but I still managed to get stuff done, and I'm recording a little late, but y'all wouldn't have known that unless I said anything, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, today was pretty productive, pretty proud of today, and yeah, I hope your day was productive. If not, let's work on getting it a little bit more productive. But in any case, really quick, I would like to refer back. I believe it was 2 episodes ago when I actually introduced our little prayer into the beginning of the episodes. I was like, this is not a Christian podcast, and although it's not like the biggest thing in the world, as soon as I got done filming, I literally was like, why would I say that? Because it is like, that was literally like, why would I even say that? Like, why would I even toot my lips to say that? And it's that think before you speak. I telling y'all that I'm aware of it. I just got to work on it. But it was literally that think before you speak. Like, no, why would I even say that? It is a Christian podcast. I may not read exactly from the Bible, but I'm getting there. I got to get myself well versed, and then we're going to get there. But it is a Christian podcast. Everything that I do, like I said, relates back to God. So like, yeah, why wouldn't I consider it that? But that wasn't the biggest thing in the world, but I did think that I should clear that up just now. Go ahead and take accountability for that. Take accountability and own up to that, because that was a no-no. So yeah, this is a Christian podcast. There are Christian lessons. There are lessons for everybody, but that is what I advertise. So yeah, and now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's get into today's episode. The episode title, of course, is Why Me? So I feel like we always ask that question, like, why me? Like, why me? Why me? Why me? And I'm gonna talk about some reasons as to why me. Like, why do stuff be happening to me? Like, why me? I'll be talking about that in today's episode. But before we can get into that, you know what time it is. No need to bow our heads or anything, but Lord, I would just like to say thank you so much for allowing us to be here, bringing us into your presence, bringing us into your message, Lord. Please help my listeners, help your listeners to be able to receive this message. Open our ears, our minds, our hearts, our bodies, and our souls, so that we're able to receive your wisdom today and pass that wisdom on to not only your fellow believers, but non-believers as well. Just pass that on to everyone. Everyone deserves to hear your message and to receive your light. So help us to deliver and to pass that on to others, Lord, and bring us closer together after today's episode. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so I feel like I always ask myself, why me? And specifically on like bad occasions. Like, it's always when bad stuff is happening to me. Like, why me when my car is breaking down? Why me when it was actually literally why me? I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell y'all because I'm gonna relate back to it. But it was literally like what's today? Today's Tuesday. It was literally 3 days ago. I was like, why me? Like, literally, why me? Like, why? But I realized when I was doing a little bit of Bible study today, I realized this was gonna be the message today, because I thought of some reasons. I was like, oh, this may be why me. And like, literally, as I was reading Job the other day, it literally like, and I did a whole complete lesson, like completely different like study lesson on that, like when I first read it, the beginning of it. But like, it literally relates back to today's message, like, why me? Now, of course, the reasons that I'm giving today are just like reasons that I've come up with. I know there might be other stuff out there, obviously, of course, so we definitely should add that into a mix. But as for right now, let's lay some foundation here, and let's just start off with these. So first, I feel like a big thing is the fact that we have free will. I feel like we neglect that fact. We literally have free will. We have the freedom and the ability to make our own choices based off of our own direction. Like, yes, obviously I go to God for direction, but I didn't always go to God for direction. Like, there was a time period when I wasn't going to him for direction. So like, my free will was literally based off of what I wanted to do. Like, it wasn't just like a, God, what do you think I should do today? It was like, Deasia, what do you think you should do today? And I would just go do stuff based off of that, and then wonder why I end up in like sticky situations. It's because like, not saying that I don't have the best what is it, not discernment, but not saying I don't have the best, I don't know, thinking ability. But it's just like, I realized when I didn't have a lot of guidance, like proper guidance in my life, I was making like just really out there outlandish decisions, and was wondering wondering why I kept ending up in sticky situations, like just like situations I did not want to be in. I need to wear my glasses. Hold on. Okay, that's a lot better. But yeah, and I know, although like now I know, like as a believer, God does have the final say so. At the end of the day, he did give us free will. So like I can literally be getting direction from God and go against it, and like I can't be mad or like that's why because you didn't listen. You literally, like, why me? You didn't listen. You took that free will and you didn't listen, and now you gotta kind of live with that. It is what it is. But like, what? And again, not only do we ourselves have free will, but everyone was granted with free will. So like other people's choices do affect you, and that's gonna bring us into our second one, which is interference. Other people's choices can and do affect what you're doing. Like, it's just like, as much as it is unfair, or not, I'm not gonna say unfair, but as much as it seems unfair or unjust, other people's actions do affect us the same way our actions affect other people's. So like when we're like, why me? Well, you chose to be with this person, and their actions in this relationship have led to this point in time. And obviously I'm not like putting anything on just one person, but when you are looking at certain things where you're like, I've literally haven't been doing anything, okay, but what has this person that you've attached yourself to been doing? Because it might be directly or indirectly playing into how things are going on in your life, and you just not catching on yet, but you're gonna catch on soon. Trust, you will catch on soon. Okay. But not only do people play a part in terms of interference, but other things. And when I say things, I am a little bit referring to supernatural, because it is a little supernatural. But like, all right, so literally in Job, in the beginning of Job, talks about all these good things about Job, how he was a blameless man, a man with integrity. He feared God, which is important. Feared God. And it just talked about all these like how many like donkeys, oxen he had. Like, it talked about his wealth, how he was a very like dignified, well-off man that believed in, feared God, trusted in God. And so one day in heaven, angels and Satan come before God, and God asks Satan, he's like, where have you been? He's like, I've been patrolling earth or whatever, you know? And he's like, oh, so then you had to have seen my servant Job. Like, he's a blameless man, a man with integrity. Like, he's the wealthiest man. He's like, and he serves me, he fears me, like, you know, like, this is my servant, like as he should. And he was like, Satan was like, yeah, I would too if I was given protection. You were giving me the money to do all these things and stuff like that. Like, if you blessed me with so many opportunities, I would too. But what if you took him away? And literally right there in that moment, Satan interfered with Job. He literally interfered with him. He literally, just for the heck of it, like, there was literally no reason other than he was being praised by God, and he was like, I'm not having that. Like, take it away and watch watch him curse your name. Watch him curse your name and curse who you are. Okay? Job literally just existed. And sometimes we just exist. We just be existing, and stuff just happens. And it literally, like, that's literally it. Like, we exist, just happens. It just happens. And it's just like, it sucks. It definitely sucks. But like, that's the reality of it. When evil exists in the world, which it does, it has existed since the beginning of time when Adam and Eve ate from the tree. We live in a world where evil exists, and because of that, just existing for ourselves can mean that evil just it finds a way to slither in and just like mess up with what we got going on. Just like find a way to throw a wrench in today's plans. But we'll get to how you handle it. Right now we're just talking about the beforehand, what the why, but we're gonna talk about how you handle it. Maybe not in this episode, but don't worry, we're gonna circle back to that, because I know you're probably like, okay, but like, how am I supposed to? Trust me, I got you. But let's talk about the why. Like, let's get an awareness, an understanding of this, because it is like, when you're just sitting here like confused and just being hit with so many things, so many punches left and right, it's just like, why am I, like, what is going on? What did I do? Sometimes you just exist. That's literally, you were born. And I'm not saying that as like a diss or anything. That's definitely not a diss. It's just like, that's it. Like, sometimes good people are born, and obviously evil don't want to see good win. So what we gonna do? Try to mess up our day, try to mess up what we got going on. But you will know, you don't get it. We're not gonna let it get the chance. And because we literally just exist, we can encounter lessons and tests, just like Job did. After Satan told God, he was like, you know, take it away and watch him curse your name, God was like, go ahead, test him, do anything you want with him, anything you want with his property, his possessions, anything you want with him. Just do not harm him physically. Do not harm him, but anything else is fair game. And he did exactly that. So what happened was, basically, Job is I believe at his home, and his he has like, I believe, like 7 sons, 5 daughters. I believe that's the amount. But basically they're feasting at their older brother's house. And you know, the farmhands, everybody's out, and one by one these messengers start to show up, and they're like, basically they tell them a tragedy, like, listen, all your animals were killed, your servants were killed, I'm literally the only one left to tell you this message. And like, it gets to the point where like they're interrupting each other. Like, there's so many are coming to tell them, like, listen, like, we just got raided, like, people just came in and took our stuff, they killed your people, they killed your animals, I'm literally the only survivor. I'm like, this is crazy. And not only that, but one comes and tells him that his entire, like, his all of his children have died. They literally, a house crushed them, I believe, they died. And it's just like, in that moment in time, even then though, he didn't curse him. He didn't curse him. He literally tore his robes, and instead he actually cursed himself. He was like, basically like, why was I even born? Like I, like, just like, I, what, why me? But all of that was a lesson in a test. It was to see if he would curse his name, literally. So all that stuff happened. It was literally a test just to see if he would curse the Lord's name. And he says it, Job says, all of the stuff that you've given to me has been taken away, but I still praise you, Lord. Like, I still worship you, Lord. Like, he literally dropped to his knees and still worshiped the Lord. You know, all that stuff had just happened. All of that stuff had just happened. He still praised and worshiped him. And I feel like with lessons and tests, there's just like, I feel like with that in itself, there's knowledge as well to be gained. How many times have we gone through stuff, and at the end of it, it may not have been great what we've gone through, but we've learned so much, and we can apply it to so many other areas in our life now, because we have gone through whatever it was that we've gone through. We've experienced the things that we've experienced the things that we've gone through. Like, we can share that knowledge with others. Like, I literally sitting here today can share the knowledge of even this message because I've gone through things, because I've witnessed things, I've seen things, I've known things, I've heard of things. Like, sometimes these lessons and tests, they're for us to gain knowledge, and it may not be ideal the way that we're going through it, but it is like, we do get something out of it at the end. We do get something out of it at the end of the day. We really do. Literally, when we're in school, to see what we've learned so far, what do they give us? Tests. They give us tests to check our knowledge, to see, okay, what have you learned? And sometimes it's that. So I told you I was going to refer back to what happened a few days ago. Literally on Saturday, it was like the worst. Oh my goodness, it was the worst. Oh. So basically, I'm gonna sum it up. I'm not gonna make it too long, but basically, I drive for Amazon. If you guys don't know, on the weekends I've been driving for Amazon for about 6 months. Right, that's my job. Literally, this past Saturday was the worst, and I had just been bitten by a dog the previous Sunday. This Saturday was the worst Saturday. It was the worst day I've had in so long. Like, I had the worst breakdown. It was crazy, y'all. I was literally crying all day. I was just crying and praying all day, literally crying, and I was just like, Lord, I just need you to get me through this. Like, it was just, okay, so basically, let me give y'all a rundown. Basically, I had been told I had to go, I live in Youngstown. I had been told that I had to go to Pittsburgh in order to drive out there to test out, to not test out the camera vans, to be in a camera van, because you do have to, some Amazon vans, most Amazon vans have a camera in them, and it like records, like, you know, like if you're at a stop sign, like, just like, you know, like if you obey in traffic laws, pretty much, basically. So I had to do one because I had never actually been in one, and they like to do it out there because it doesn't hurt the metrics at our home station, which is about 15 minutes away from where I live. So I had to drive, well, first it wasn't to Pittsburgh, it was like an hour away, but then I did have to go to Pittsburgh, which was an hour and a half total away. And they told me I wouldn't have as many, like, it would be a light day. It was not light, y'all. It was still a lot. I was like, just because we're in a city do not mean, like, I'm literally driving all up in the mountains, like, hills. This is not easy and light for me. And it was raining, y'all. It's raining. They got construction going on down there. I'm like, I've never been out here before. I don't know. I don't know the traffic laws out here. I know I gotta kind of adapt and prepare myself for stuff like that, just for like driving like just regular, but like still, like, that was a lot. I didn't want to do that. And so like, I had just been crying. I was like, I cannot do this. Like, Lord, please just continue to help me get through this day. Like, just, I need you, Lord. Like, I just, like, I could have been upset. Like, why am I doing this? Like, you know, like, why? But I literally was just sitting there. I was just praying the entire day. It continued to get worse. It got better for some part, but then it just got really bad really fast. And basically my tire popped while I was out there. I had like 6 stops left and I'm trying to get done because I want to get back home at least by like 9:30, even though technically we should be done by 9. I'm like, I want to be home to the station by 9:30 because I knew it was going to take me a minute to get out there because I was already having technical difficulties. Y'all, my tire popped. The tire to the van pops and I literally just lost it. I was crying on the phone with my mom. It was just so bad, y'all. It was so bad. I was literally like, I'm finna quit. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call off for tomorrow. I literally was like, okay. My mom was like, call off. I was like, I'm gonna call off. I plan to call off. Well, when I get back, they were like, do you want to be an extra? Basically, an extra is like, you're there to help out, but then you leave. Like, you don't actually get a full day. Like, it's just like, you're there for like maybe an hour. So I was like, yes, I'll do that. Cause mind y'all, it's daylight savings time too, so like we lose an hour of sleep. So I'm like, I didn't get back into my house until 11 p.m. and I was supposed to be there at 11 a.m. the next day. It wasn't happening. But I texted my boss the next day and I literally was like, can I be an extra? Like, I'm just checking, can I be an extra? He was like, he told me I actually didn't have to come in. Like, he checked, make sure, but he was like, you actually don't have to come in. And that was the best news I'd ever received. And I know I'm kind of like, the story it was a little bit long, but like, I say all this to say there was a lesson in that. It really was. Instead of me cursing his name, just like Job, I literally just went to him further. I literally leaned into him further and was like, I need your help. Like, okay, like if you gonna put me through this test, you gonna have to help me get through this test. This gonna have to be open book. I need help. And like, yeah, the day was still bad. I still was crying. I still was terrible. The next day, I appreciated my off day. I appreciated everything so much more. And not only that, but I found my Wii, which I have been looking for my Wii for so long. My mom said she had thrown it away and it had been like, since the first time I had like mentioned it, it's been like over a year. I've not seen it. It's been years since I've seen it, but over a year since like I went looking for it and she told me she threw it away. Y'all, I literally was cleaning on Sunday, the day that I was given off, and found my Wii. Y'all, I've been playing Michael Jackson. Everybody, my sister's friends have come over to play the Wii. Like, we've all been just playing the Wii, and it's just like, that is so beautiful to me, because first of all, I probably would have never found it if I didn't have that bad day, which led me to having that off day, which led me to clean. Like, you know, it's just like, see, like, there's just so much, like, and it's just like, I'm sorry, like, I really, like, everything be making sense. Like, it just be making sense. But yeah, I feel like definitely when it comes to why me, we definitely have to change our perspective on it for sure, because like, we can look at it as like we're blaming a victim blaming mindset, like, why is stuff happening to me, and instead of like, why is stuff happening for me. Like, there's so many reasons and they're not always the best, but how can we find ways to benefit from it? And like, it's hard to be positive when it comes to stuff like that. When bad stuff is happening, it's hard. I literally know, I'm telling y'all about it, but it's like, we have to try to do better at reining and controlling ourselves and leaning into God and being like, okay, what am I missing here? What do I need to do here? Help guide me here. Like, how do I get from this point to this point? Because I'm struggling and I can't understand it. I can't see what you see, but like, please help me to get there. Okay. But yeah, I feel like that was really good for this episode. Like, we didn't go over too long. I'm actually really happy about that. I felt like we gave some really good reasons, and hopefully in the nearby future we talk about, like, not only do we talk about these reasons, but let's talk about like, what do we do now that we know them and stuff like that. But yeah, for right now, this has definitely been a good little foundation, and I hope it gets a little conversation going between us. Okay. Of course, do not forget to check out our socials, which are linked down in the description box below on every podcast, on every platform that you are listening or watching this on. Let me just hold on real quick off topic. Let me just say, I've been looking at my analytics for this podcast, and y'all have me like, I'm literally like, I know by the end of this month I'm finna be in full-blown tears. I'm literally I'm already like smiling from ear to ear, just like such excitement, because like, I can just see the growth, and I can't wait to keep connecting and connect with more of you guys. Like, I cannot wait until this podcast is just like, oh my goodness, I just know like even in a few months this is going to be so different. Like I didn't even have a podcast a year ago, so just imagine me in a year when I've had this podcast for a year. Like I just can't wait to see the future with this, guys. I really can, with you guys and with this. But yeah, I'm sorry, I just had to go off topic for a little bit. Anywho, that wraps up this episode. As always, it is always a pleasure, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.